Good afternoon, Patriots, and welcome to another edition of Quarantine. I'm your host, RP, and joining me today, as always, is my co-host and good friend, M3. Please, Patriots, do us a favor, like and share this broadcast. Help us get the word out. We appreciate your help. We've got so much news to talk about today. A lot's happening. And of course, our favorite Anon is posting. We've got Patriots from all across the globe. I hope you guys are having a good day. Much love to everyone in the audience. A lot is happening. All right, everyone, please do sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and we'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. Franklin's Finest Coffee is the first ever emergency survival coffee with an actual up to 25-year shelf life. The kit provides a 1-year supply of flavorful Franklin's Finest coffee for one person. It's conveniently packaged in 12 resealable, 60-serving, heavy-duty 4-layer zipper pouches for a total of 720 servings. It's all packaged in a rugged, water-resistant bucket for easy storage, and Franklin's Finest Coffee is the ultimate survival perk, especially for those that drink coffee on a daily basis. Or you can take it camping. It's 100% Colombian, and it's also the perfect item for barter or trade in an emergency. You'll thank us later for that tip. As Benjamin Franklin said, among the numerous luxuries on the table, coffee may be considered as one of the most valuable. It excites cheerfulness without intoxication, and the pleasing flow of spirits which it occasions is never followed by sadness, languor, or debility. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Quarantine. We are so glad to be here with you. Methods, how are you today, buddy?
Doing awesome, man. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling real good, dude. There is so much amazing stuff happening. We've got several new posts from our favorite Anon, chock full of interesting tidbits, and we've got news for days. We could probably make this a 4-hour show, and we would never run out of things to talk about. The world is changing.
Don't you tease people. I'm already being told that we don't do this long enough, so. Right.
Oh, Simone just woke up.
But yeah, hey, everybody in the chat. Hope everybody's doing well.
Please do us a favor, guys. We've got over 2,000 people here, 652 likes. If you could like this program, it would really help us out. That is probably one of the most important things you can do to help us break through the algos. I need to say thank you to no one. Thank you to Thomas Plant. Hey, you yourself, buddy. Thanks for being here. And Shannon Reeves, who says, good afternoon. What's going on? Oh, Chi-Chi just went after Simone. Chi-Chi, leave the cat alone. Leave the cat alone. So, yes, you guys need some coffee. I'm drinking it right now. It is delicious.
Shameless plug with that logo going on.
I've got more than one shameless plug in this cup of coffee. Right. Yeah, I am drink. This is the end of it. Okay, like I've already drank a pot. This is the last of it. I like to get psyched up for the shows. Get that energy. Need to say thank you to EO2 Dave. New mitigation guidelines for going back to work. Wash hands, put on mask, go to work, don't touch and kiss strangers like Uncle Joe does. That's a wonderful advice. D. Martinez says, it is not a coincidence that our favorite Anon is posting during your show. It's happening too many times. Our favorite Anon is watching. Great job, guys. Kyle Howell, thank you for joining as a member. Eddie Valenzuela, thank you for joining as a member. And Claudia McLaughlin, thank you very much for that. So yeah, obviously I don't want to claim that our favorite Anon is doing this on purpose, but I have to say it's very exciting to kind of be able to time this stuff now and feel like there could be some type of a connection. Is it a connection? I don't know. Definitely don't want to claim that. But if you are watching, people on the 17 team, thank you very much, guys. It's an honor and a privilege to be here serving and helping the mission of President Trump, which is the mission of the people. Let's be honest. I feel like people who don't support the president, they have no survival instinct. They have no sense of urgency. I'll got to be honest, my daughter's going to kill me, but we had an argument this morning about President Trump. She is still brainwashed by the mainstream media, despite the fact that she lives in this household. And the things that she was saying about President Trump, I did my best to counter everything. But for some people, I've realized some people will never be able to get past the indoctrination that they've been put through. Her entire life did a really great job. It was basically once she got into high school and she started thinking for herself that I was no longer able to give her the information and get her to believe me. Unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. I emailed, Joe M's video, the famous video to a relative of mine who was just reaching out to make sure I was doing okay with all this stuff going on. And they were like, well, how do you feel about, what's going on with the president and all that? And I was like, I'm loving it. I didn't want to say too much. They don't know that I'm doing this. But I sent the video over and I said, well, just check this out for me and all that. So watch the video. And then I get an email back a few hours later and they're like, it's a very interesting video. It's definitely eye-opening. And then it was like one of those dot moments. And it was like, but I just really hate that man in office right now. And I was just like, you lost it all. Like you missed the entire point of what I'm trying to show you. But hey, at least she watched the video. Hopefully, it planted that seed. But can't win them all over.
No, unfortunately for some people, the indoctrination is just too great. They can't get past the idea that President Trump is a good person, that he's playing a role. This is what I always tell people. He knows exactly what he's saying. Okay, the man's a genius. He is acting 99% of the time when he's out in front of the cameras. He is timing and measuring his responses based upon maximum reaction. Okay, because they will never give him a fair shake in terms of the way that they report on him. He has to say certain things in order to get them to report on things because they are outrageous. Many people are still. They're never able to get over the idea of the things that he said in private. I said to my daughter, how many things have you said in private that if somebody was sleazy enough to record and then put out there on the internet, that it would ruin your life or ruin your career? I said, everybody talks in a different way when they're in private, or they're going to say things that they would never say publicly. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody is going to talk about members of the opposite sex with, such candor. But everybody is going to say something that they wouldn't necessarily want people to say out loud. And that's just the way it is. It's human nature. So President Trump, I bear him no ill will. I absolutely love the man. I think he's doing incredible work for this country. And despite however, many conquests he's had in his time, I respect him greatly.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I'm kind of distracted because of what White Hat just sent me.
Oh, what he said?
Certain people, when they send me things during the show, I'm like, okay, I'm going to read because they know that we're live, or should know. I don't know if we just caught him. But apparently Devin Nunes is announcing a podcast that he's going to be doing starting tomorrow.
Awesome.
So I'm going to drop that channel, and he's only got like 900 subscribers right now.
Wow.
But I'm going to drop that in the chat for all you guys. That'll be cool. Hopefully it's not live and during this time, but Devin, be nice about it. Yeah. But I'm going to drop that in the chat for everybody. It sounds cool. We get more time than the 45 seconds that Hannity allows them to speak any other time. So here it is, guys, in the chat. Let's, hopefully it'll be cool. Sounds like it.
Yeah, Devin, I just want to say you are always welcome to join us on the program. I would absolutely love to have you here in the chat with us. Just need to say thank you to Berserker Bear. God bless and protect all. Hold the line. Gravy flows after. Be there for friends and family. Chance favors the prepared mind. Absolutely. Nicole Losey says, sheep no more, winning. Love from Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you, Nicole. Wheezy Girl says, love you guys, the best. We love you too, Wheezy. Thank you for always being here to help out in the chat. Pat M says, thanks for helping me wake up. Where we go on, we go all. I'm glad that you're here with us, Pat. Lisa Georgi, thank you for that. Marty Cannon says, hey, Red Pill and Methods, love you guys. Where we go on, we go all. We love you too, Marty. Lily Raven says, my family is brainwashed too. I'm the outcast. Well, Lily, you can rest assured knowing that you are doing God's work, and in time, I believe these people are all going to wake up once they realize the truth and they realize how horribly they've been lied to.
We are the biggest family of outcasts ever, right? I mean, because a lot of us feel that way. Not everybody's like that. I love seeing the messages from people saying, hey, I'm watching your shows with my whole family or all that stuff. Love that. I mean, some of us are jealous of that because we don't get that opportunity, right?
Yeah.
But have this movement of people that otherwise, a lot are outcasts. We have the biggest, unified thing ever. And that's why I love being, one of the reasons why I love being a part of this is that we all get to connect on that kind of level.
Yeah. Yeah. Pegster6 says, what, that stuff POTUS said of the Billy Bush thing? Knew about that forever ago. It is incredible to me, the things that people will be outraged over. Okay. So they're outraged about private talk between two guys that when they thought nobody was listening, but they don't care about the things that Bill Clinton or Uncle Joe did. That was one of the things I said to her, so what? POTUS talked in a crass manner. The people that you are looking up to are the ones that did actual terrible things to people behind the scenes. And just because they talk in a fake, eloquent manner in public, that does not excuse those things that they did. It's terrible. You have to really, really think about this stuff critically. Lorraine B says, hashtag stimulus check, pay it forward. I'm blessed, working and choosing to support you both, Methods and RP, challenging others in similar circumstances to do the same. Support your neighbors in need, local bars, LOL, or other content creators. Sharing is caring. Lorraine, thank you very much. Brian A. says, there will come a time when our children will be forced awake. All we can do is to be there to guide them through it. And Char Lara says, hi, guys. I'll give more when I can. What video can I get someone who wants to learn about our favorite Anon? P.S. I love you guys. I would say that Joe M's Plan to Save the World is the absolute, best introductory video. I mean, Methods, do you agree?
Oh, yeah, because, it touches on a lot of the subjects that ultimately we all want to point at, right? It's taking, because the movement itself is not necessarily all about what the drops are and breaking them down and decoding. Even more so, at least to me, it's what we're doing right now. We're connecting, we're building, a movement of spreading this information, taking apart disinformation, supporting the president, and not backing down. Yeah. So, yeah, but no, Joe M's video is definitely a must if someone's new and needs to catch up on what we're talking about. Yeah.
Now, I just dropped Methods PayPal in the chat, too. If anybody wants to donate directly to Methods, you can always find his stuff in the links below. He doesn't announce it, and, I don't ask for it either, but I just want you guys to know that that's there. Char Lara says, hi, guys. Oh, thank you again, Char Lara. Michelle Vanderschaft says, nothing works to wake my family up. They still badmouth the president as they receive their stimulus check, frustrated, waiting for undeniable proof on mainstream and the arrests, as are we all. It will happen. And until that time, unfortunately, those people are just going to have to remain asleep.
Well, I also saw a lot of replies. I was going through the threads about, the Trump check. And there was a lot of people saying, I don't care if y'all hate me or not for saying this, but this president actually gave me some of the money back of our taxes. I will be voting in 2020. And we don't know these people, but I saw enough of those posts happening that I knew it wasn't a joke. Like, people, it's genuinely the fact, Obama gave everybody phones, right? And then so the idea of having tax money handed back during a time of need and all that, I am seeing there is a shift happening in people that otherwise would just, their whole ecosystem is just hate Orange Man.
Right. The other thing that I'm seeing is the lie that the Dems are putting out, that this is a loan on your tax refund from next year, and so you have to pay it back. Absolutely not true, guys. Absolutely not true. This is a gift, 100% a stimulus for this year specifically from President Trump and his administration. I'm also seeing the lie that President Trump didn't want to give this stimulus out, and I will say wholeheartedly, he's the one who pushed for it, okay? The Dems are the ones that held it up. If you hear somebody spouting some lies like that, make sure you set them straight. Steve Albanian and Kristen S., thank you both for joining as members. Son of a Green Card says, thanks to POTUS for stimulating my financial package. Hashtag sharing is caring. Thanks, buddy. His Mercy on We Amen says, cleaning at work, got you all on blast. How do you write yours and methods names so you see the message? Glad you two cover our favorite Anon as well because I'm always working all the time and got a toddler. Shows must do. You do the @ symbol before our name. So you would do @redpill78 or @methods, and then it would pop up highlighted like that. Gino says, Nancy Pelosi just shot me a text. She said her fridges are open to everyone in the chat. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi has like a $25,000 fridge stocked with like artisan ice cream. Couldn't believe that. She's so out of touch. Michelle Johnson says, so grateful for you two doing this now during all this crazy COV crap. We look forward to it so much. Sanity instead of garbage. Well, thank you very much. We enjoy doing it, and we enjoy being here with you guys. Wandering Mind says, Quarantine coffee. Sell your cups and your own roast. I do. I have this cup right here. You can get it on the Red Pill, I guess, merch store. The link is always in the description of the video. And then the coffee comes directly from Patriot Supply, which is coffee with Red Pill. Coffee with Red Pill. Clay Brown says, I find it weird that Justice Scalia died a few months before the FISA warrants were issued. Yeah, Justice Scalia, I mean, I don't think it's a mistake that he suddenly passed away. I mean, they wanted to have the opportunity to stack the court, and with his untimely demise, there goes a conservative voice on SCOTUS. Clay Brown says, thank you again, Clay Brown. Joshua Maltebarger says, thanks, Methods, I just subscribed. Sue Randall says, I say it's a rebate for all the money they stole. Yes, it definitely is a rebate for all the money that's been stolen by our government. Gary G says, please clone Trump and send him to Canada. Thanks. Where we go one, we go all.
Oh yeah, well, we get a lot of those messages on, can you send him over to our country when you're done with him?
Yeah.
And selfishly, we like having him here. He's helping us out. Yeah. But no, we agree. And we agree. Everybody needs help around the world, and we're just grateful. Red Pill and I and a lot of people that do follow us here from America are grateful to be here because this is kind of like, the crux of everything going on centers around our country because of what it was being used on the world stage as the power that it is. So we're grateful to be here in the middle of the fight, but everybody around the world that's listening, you all are just as important, because we're all in this together.
Let's see. Doug McDougall says BO will claim Kenyan citizenship to try and avoid rope. Young Gun says Nunez's channel content has been deleted, all of it. I don't think he's put any content out yet. I think he's just announced it. P Mumble 76 has also joined as a member, and I saw Neo ask, "What's up with the pyramid on my mug?" This is a design that somebody put together. It's a design aesthetic called Vaporwave. There's no hidden meaning behind it, but it's just a triangle, to be quite honest with you. Filled with Hope says, I knew something was gonna be said about it, like when it was put together, but I was just
Red
like,
Pill
whatever.
Debunked video Illuminati.
There you go. I'm just waiting for those videos. Filled with Hope says, sent mother-in-law out of shadows. Her response was, wow, fake news exists. Then a few hours later, a friend calls me and says, is this all connected? What is our favorite Anon saying? Had a 1-hour call till midnight. Hashtag Great Awakening. Good for you. So you're 1 for 2. Crystal Pelosi, thanks for... Crystal Pistol has joined as a member. And Mark Dagley says, we homeschool our children in the 80s and 90s, and none went to college. All have successful businesses, are conservative and patriotic, and our 35 grandchildren are too. That is incredible. EO2 Dave says, trolls are pushing, nobody got checks yet. Hit 1 if you got yours. 1 in the chat if you got your check. I haven't gotten my check, but whatever. It's a no big thing. I will get it when I'm meant to receive it. All right, so we've got 2 posts right now from our favorite Anon. Post 3972, it's a transcript and a video of Barry on his exit interview with NPR. And it says, think then, think now, start at 1540, and then knowingly in the kill box. Lots of patriots getting their checks. Got that Trump. That Trump check. I almost said it.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of fun fake tweets of Trump yesterday.
There was a lot of real tweets too of people like actually getting their checks and then saying some funny stuff. We were talking before the show. There was quite a few people who were saying that they were now a Trump voter as a result of getting that check. Right. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, to this post that you just brought up, I watched like 15, 20 minutes into it, but we had to prepare for the show.
Right.
But the overall aspect of it is, the think then, think now. How I take that is think about what he was saying during that time. The whole narrative was Russia caused all these problems, had caused all these problems with the DNC and then onward. And then think about how he was trying to cover up stuff. And people pointed it out, and I noticed it too. He was stuttering. I know he didn't have his, his famous, projector.
Talking points.
His teleprompter to be able to tell him what to say. But he was trying to struggle through it and all that stuff. But if you're paying attention to the words that he's using and thinking about everything we've learned over the last 3 years, he's dancing around the fact because he's in the middle of helping them spy still at that moment when they're filming.
Yep.
And the stuff that he was pointing out, I just highly suggest, I'm sure all of you have or will watch it, but start at that time that our favorite and I pointed and listen to it all the way through, knowing what we've learned and what we've brought up over the last few years.
Yeah. Absolute propaganda being spewed. And he knows that everything he's saying is an absolute lie. So we've got a clip here that Methods was able to pull out, and he says Barry said this right before before Trump took office, as he knowingly had been involved in using foreign entities and U.S. agencies to illegally spy on the Trump campaign. So let's go ahead and take a look at this clip.
Among the big powers, there has been a traditional understanding of that everybody's trying to gather intelligence on everybody else. It's no secret that Russian intelligence officers or Chinese or, for that matter, Israeli or British or other intelligence agencies, that their job is to get insight into the workings of other countries that they're not reading in the newspapers every day. There's a difference between that and the kind of malicious cyber attacks that steal trade secrets or engage in industrial espionage, something that we've seen the Chinese do. And there's a difference between that and activating intelligence in a way that's designed to influence elections. So
activating intelligence in a way that's designed to influence elections? You mean like the Steele dossier? Would that count?
Oh yeah, no, the whole part he was talking about just screams Five Eyes working with each other or just sharing information on each other's citizens and stuff like that. So the fact that he just sit there and say that is because it was damage control, right? That whole interview was him trying to play damage control because they assumed there would be enough information to create the Mueller thing to create enough damage because they didn't think Trump would be that great, as a president, so you have all this stuff going on to work because they wanted the Mueller thing to lead straight into impeachment. And notice how bad that failed. And then they needed the Ukraine narrative. And that's how they got to it.
Yeah, I mean, this is straight hubris right here. They figured we've set this up to the point where we're going to be able to remove him. We've got all this evidence that we've compiled and we've put all these stories out there and we're going to convince the American public that he's a Russian asset and he'll be gone. And then we'll have, HRC or, some other puppet figurehead in there and then, we'll get away with it. Well, joke's on you, Barry. Joke's on you. Let me just say thank you to Lenore Morris. Let's see. Bonnie Gutschall says, Scalia was taken out. Patricia64, is Nassara a real possibility? It has been an honor to be your president. Could Trump become the 17th president? I don't know what you mean. He's the 45th president. I don't know what you mean by 17th president. And Nassara, is it a possibility? I think that, there's a great many things that are a possibility. but I can't predict what's going on with Nasara. Obviously, many people are saying that it is real and that it will happen. I'm going to have some guests on here in about a week who are going to be here talking about that. And, I'm going to let you guys make your own mind up on it. I don't know for certain. Let's see. EO2 Dave says, take that, trolls. He got his check. Baby Love 78 says, I no longer feel guilty about getting that check. Yes, do not feel guilty about it because we were put into this situation and President Trump is trying to help us work through it and make it as painless as possible. Thrifty Guy McGee says, I'm waiting for that Trump signature paper check. I'm actually hoping I do get a paper check as well so that I can see that signature. And that's the new line that they're trying to use to besmirch President Trump, saying that because he requested to have his signature added to the check, that it's holding it up and people are not going to get their checks because of that, and how horrible that President Trump would want people to know that it's thanks to him that these checks are coming out. Whatever. Mainstream media can just go ahead.
Well, during the thing last night, he said he didn't know that it was on there, but he was grateful or whatever. But you can tell when they're interviewing him that they're trying to build towards a narrative, and how you just explained it. So yeah, that was I loved seeing him shoot it down. I had to put that clip out because it was perfect. And you waste that one question that you get on that. Yep,
absolute losers. Okay, so thank you to AK. He says, "Hey guys, I had to show my appreciation for all you do. You guys are waking up tons. So have you seen Mouthy Buddha's new doc? If so, thoughts? Stay keeping it real, gents. Where we go one, we go all. Love you both." I actually just watched that Mouthy Buddha doc this morning as I was getting ready for the show, and there is new information included in that. I would definitely suggest that everybody go watch it because it's fairly eye-opening. The information that was presented in the documentary has been reported to the FBI, and I'm only hoping that they will take some action on it because it's definitely actionable intelligence. Final Stage Justice made my husband watch Out of the Shadows during haircut. Good for you. Son of a Green Card says his body language in that clip speaks volumes. Lack of eye contact, fumbling for words, head tilt, and look to the left. He's making stuff up left and right. He doesn't have his teleprompter there. I think he's also trying to pretend like he's detached. He's a disinterested third party when, in fact, he's running an operation to try to destroy President Trump at that very moment. J-Bone says, who do you think makes the best Twitter troll? James Woods, POTUS, or Don Jr.? My vote's with POTUS. I think POTUS is the consummate troll. What do you think, Methods?
Right. I mean, you got to love James Woods, right? I mean, he's good at it.
Yeah.
I would just say that, Don Jr.'s, just, version 2.0 of Trump.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I laugh at them both because of the context itself. Like Woods can get away with a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
His wording and stuff is gold. But the fact that the president
yeah.
says some of the things that he does, I agree with you. He's got to be number one.
Yeah.
People are asking for that link to that video that was just brought up. I have it saved in a queue to watch because I haven't watched it yet, but everybody keeps telling me that Mouthy Buddha one. So I'm gonna drop that in the chat for everybody, just so you got it. But yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's good. It really is good. I went back and started watching some of his other videos too. Let's see. J-Bone, thank you for that. Keegan Simmons says, here you go, RP. I'll share a little bit of my Trump change for all your troubles. Much love, Patriot. Thanks, Keegan. Georgia Patriot says, T-Man just tweeted major news conference tonight at 6 p.m. Not 5:45 or 5:30. 6 o'clock is dangerous. Oh, yeah, watch your 6. Jennifer4327, locker room talk like women that talk about men with big hands. Exactly. That was my point. Everyone, no matter what sex you are, is going to engage in something along those lines at some point in your life. And it just so happens that they had the malice of forethought to record it so that they could then use it against him later. And again, make no mistake, these people are built upon blackmail. That's everything to them. They try to get damaging and compromising information on people, and then they will use it when the time is right. President Trump just does not give a rip.
He's trolling Pelosi right now while we're talking.
Oh, good.
You know how she deleted her clip of her at Chinatown? I don't know if like this morning or whatever. Yeah, Trump just called it out and shared the video.
Nice. Looney Tune says, does anyone else send celebs, elites, Hunger Games, Hangin' Tree song? Where we go one, we go all worldwide. That's a pretty funny one. Patricia64, I saw someone post that since America had effectively been under martial law since Lincoln, if the Republic got a reset, he would in essence be the 17th president of our original republic. Ooh, I like the idea of that. That is a very interesting thought. I would like to talk about that. Berserker Bear says there were 16 Continental Congress presidents before Declaration of Independence. If the Republic would be restored, he would be the 17th. Man, that's a deep thought. Big Bear says, thoughts on closing the House and Senate. We do have some thoughts, and we're going to talk to it as long as we've got time to get to it. So let's go to the next post. Barry trained and supplied ISIS, and then Trump destroyed ISIS. Now, this is a tweet from Deep State Exposed, and we're asked who trained and supplied that group, the bad guys in the Middle East. What if HRC won? Who destroyed those bad guys? Knowledge is power. Let's go ahead and take a look at the clip.
As I've said before, this aspect of our strategy was moving too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province. As I've said before, this aspect of our strategy.
All right, so just in case you didn't know, those bad guys were created by the last administration. They were supported and supplied with ammunition and weapons, and then they were deployed against our guys. And these people wanted to pretend like that never happened. But the internet's forever, and Patriots got some big brains. We're not going to let them forget.
That also reminds me of, remember when Kerry's laptop got hacked?
Yes.
And he had the fake ISIS video set up and all that stuff, that with the green screen room and the full production setup. You're right. And that's a very interesting thought, that the new guard, the Trump presidency went right after the military arm of the East that was built up by the previous administrations. So, it's just a fascinating thing to consider.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing. And just in case anybody doesn't know, like Methods alluded to, there was that fake video, and many people had deconstructed those videos that were coming out of this organization, showing that they were potentially staged. You can tell that they're on a green screen. You can tell that there is effects that are used, and it was put out by our own government at the time. It was a scare tactic, and it was just more propaganda they were trying to use to continue these rat lines and to keep these wars going so that they could keep making money and they could keep bringing misery. And I believe that they were harvesting from that dark energy. Grace Jackson, thank you for that. Doug McDougall says members of Congress can't be arrested while in session. One exception is treason. Michael Kenny says, Methods, I loved that drunk Pelosi tweet earlier. One woke Norseman. I haven't seen it, but I'll take a look.
I can't say it on there.
Okay. One woke Norseman says, hey, Red Pill and Methods, 54-year-old Lansing, Michigan native. No, it's not.
It dropped out and came right back.
Okay. All right. 54-year-old Lansing, Michigan native here. We rocked this town yesterday and definitely woke some sheep up. Town is gaining resonance. Where we go one, we go all. Good for you, buddy. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, the drone video was gold, right? They went up. Yeah. I'll have to find it and I'll send it to you later. They had a drone footage of all the traffic gridlock.
Nice.
And it was just going on and on and on. It was great.
Very cool. Looney Tunes says 1.6 thousand thumbs up, 4,500 viewing. Smash the like button. Yes, anybody who can please hit that like button. We really appreciate it. Lydia Negrilla says, you are amazing. Thank you for that, Lydia. And Richie Rich says, two of my adult children, after 20 minutes of watching the Out of the Shadows documentary, said they were too freaked out to watch the rest. Some people just don't want to know. Yeah, well, the choice to know will be yours. And for some people...
Oh, man. I'm sorry. I had my mic on. Our favorite Anon just posted again.
Just okay.
And it's going there. It's going there. Just go ahead and pull it up.
It's not there yet, so we'll see it in a second. But I did want to tell you guys a story that Methods had found about a husband and wife team of lawyers in Chicago. They were found deleted in their home. They were 69 and 67-year-old Thomas Johnson and Leslie Jones. That's interesting that they both have some of the most common last names you could possibly have. Thomas Johnson and Leslie Jones. So they were found at 7:30 p.m. yesterday, was it? Preliminary information gathered indicates suspicious circumstances. This is the picture of their home right there. And Methods, didn't you say that there was some connection to Barry there?
Yeah, go down the article.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the exact thing. I don't want to lie to people, but if you go down some, it refers to, he also helped reform Chicago's voter registration and worked with many office holders, including former President Obama, according to the law firm.
Wow. Wow. So that is interesting. And I will have to say, this is not the first time that someone with a connection in this sort of political rigging has passed away after they were connected to President Barry. Pretty interesting to see that. Neo says, I have a good feeling about tomorrow. Some good news for episode 17, perhaps. Man, I sure hope so. And I would say, once again, don't miss it, because our good friend White Hat is going to be here, and we are going to be bringing it, guys. There is so much to talk about. I also want to say, don't forget that there were those people who were saying that President Trump is no longer president, that the FEMA head is now president. Talked to White Hat about it. He said it's absolutely not true. They would have gotten some type of directive on it. President Trump is still the president. He is firmly in control of this republic, and we have nothing to fear with regards to FEMA. Ryan Rose says, Red Pill, Christine Cuomo is positive, and Andrew Cuomo quips that this will be number 17 on the list of things she will blame for Chris. Is that a coincidence? I did hear that, and it's probably no coincidence that he said that. I would imagine that maybe that is some kind of a nod, but it's a weird thing to say. Only 17 things that your wife has blamed you for, Chris? It seems to me that there's probably a lot more on that list. Okay, so let's see if that post has come through yet. And
It should. It's not that big, but what he's referring to just implies everything that we're talking about, especially with that Mouthy Buddha video and all that stuff. Did it pull up for you?
It did not, and my YouTube stream just reset. So let me get the chat pulled back up. Okay, there we go.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and go with it.
Yeah.
He drops a link from Jack from Twitter, like from his tweet.
Yeah.
And it's that infamous one that we always refer to, the making the good pasta, reading through some amazing parts of the satanic verses. The golden threads begin to intertwine, and then that says, it will be your choice whether to know.
Okay. All
so
right.
the fact that they're hinting in that direction, is everything good on your?
Yeah, it like dropped out for a second, but I think we're good again. Let's see. Red Pills Warhawk says, still my president, and he always will be. Diana Davenport, good to see you. She says, loving Quarantime. I hope y'all keep doing it in some form. Well, I hope we do too, Diana. Thank you for that. Bob Gates, good to see you, buddy. 3971 and Frogs to Destroy. Time to disrupt their indoctrination. We're ready, friends. Where we go one, we go all. And then Grace Jackson says, love Methods and RP and POTUS. Pray for the blood of Christ over you guys. 218 equals my birthday equals where we go one, we go all. No check yet. What was White Hat talking about for 41020? Ask for us. Well, he's going to be here, and you guys can definitely ask any questions that you want. I know that he's going to be bringing some good information. Let's see. I'm going to refresh just to see if it has...
Jen Cooper says, did Methods drop the video? I'm assuming that's the Mouthy Buddha video that I just referred to again.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and just drop it again for everybody.
Thanks, guys. Go ahead. So, yeah, let's go to Jack's Twitter status, and we can check that out. This is an infamous one. Making the good pasta, reading through some amazing parts of the satanic verses, the golden threads begin to intertwine. What, Jack, what? These people are brazen in what they do and what they say.
He said that in 2006.
Yeah.
We were, that's, in the middle of just a corrupt situation going on, right? So they would feel comfortable enough to do that. That's why, the Anon's work on going back on the Wayback Machine and grabbing things is so vital, because it becomes relevant when you put it in context.
Look, I feel,
what were they really talking about? The explanations, and it implies a lot of dark stuff. And I guess we'll just go ahead and disclaimer and just remind everybody, of course we all want to know everything so we could spread the information and stuff, but don't take yourself too far mentally to where you break your psyche and just change who you are. Because I mean, we've even seen some things, and we try to prepare ourselves for it, that still just mess with our heads even now.
Yeah.
You know, but there will be people that watch these things, and you know, even if we have to, and we'll explain it the best we can, you know, but don't feel bad if for some reason you can't mentally wrap your head around watching it. Don't feel obligated, but this is information that needs to be covered, and it will be covered.
That's a great point. That's a great point. All right. Well, I also want to go over this clip yesterday from President Trump's presser. And Method says, listen carefully, hashtag our favorite Anon. You got to look at some timelines. Sounds like Pointus is pointing out the timing of the sickness. Let's go ahead and listen.
Look, I feel very badly about the World Health Organization, but it's been a tool of China. It's been, as I say, totally China-centric. You take a look at everything that's happened. They've been wrong. I was all for it at the beginning. What do I know? I walked in. I said, World Health Organization, isn't that wonderful? And then you start to see all the mistakes. They didn't want us to close our borders to China, to Wuhan specifically. They didn't want our borders closed. You take a look. Mike was there. We're all there. And they're criticizing me for closing the border. I did that very early. By the way, I did that very early while Nancy Pelosi was trying to have in San Francisco parties in Chinatown, because she thought it would be great. She wanted to show that this thing doesn't exist. These are people, I'll tell you, we have some politicians on the other side that don't know what they're doing. If you look at timelines, you got to look at some timelines. But the World Health Organization, just like the World Trade Organization, I'm telling you, I call them, they have been treating the United States for decades so badly, and they've been so in favor of China. China took off when it joined the World Trade Organization because of what's happened.
Absolutely love it. President Trump is not pulling any punches. The WHO did everything they could not to help us, but to destroy us. Every action that they took was specifically designed to weaken the United States and to, you know, quite frankly, do good things for probably our number one global enemy, which would be the China country that this originated from. My girlfriend's here, Real Red Pill Girlfriend. Hi, honey. Good to see you. Sue Randall says, when it comes to CV, what happened to my body, my choice? Yeah. Phil Denman says, they tried to coup d'etat us and we cued them. LOL, irony and time travel are fun. Richard Kruska says, does anyone see the video 2 days ago from Chris Cuomo saying he does not like what he's doing anymore professionally? Quitting reporting, CNN. That was on his radio program. We talked about it here, but I didn't have a clip of it. It sounds like he went absolutely nuts because that guy caught him breaking quarantine, going out in public, not social distancing because he had two lasses with him. And he tried to say something. And by the way, that guy was a lifelong Democrat. Chris Cuomo thinks that he's too good for the people of America to talk to him. So, yeah, I would like to hear it myself. Live Free or Die says, today was the first day I didn't get a notification, even though I sent the reminder hours ago. The stream keeps dropping on my end, especially when you mentioned Oblazo. Thanks, guys. Oblozo? BabyLove78 says, it's no small thing that POTUS's tweet is 17 seconds. Is that the clip from the Pelosi video?
I think that's what they're talking about. I didn't catch how long it was.
Let me pull him up.
Well, hey, while you're doing that, we got over 5,000 people hanging out. 2.1 thousand likes is what I see on my end. If you guys could just click that like button for us, that'd be great. And I'd also like to say, because it was brought up, first off, thank you, Red Pill, for that. I do have some people showing up in my PayPal. I appreciate that. I love you guys for it. I try not to push that kind of thing, but I just want to thank everybody that's shown up in that. You know, you guys are great.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so let's take a look here. This is that deleted video from Pelosi's Twitter. President Trump says, crazy Nancy Pelosi deleted this from her Twitter account. She wanted everyone to pack into Chinatown long after I closed the border to China. Based on her statement, she is responsible for many deaths. She's an incompetent third-rate politician. Let's take a listen.
To everyone, you should come to Chinatown. Precautions have been taken by our city. We know that there's a concern about tourism traveling all throughout the world, but we think it's very safe to be in Chinatown and hope that others will come.
We think it's very safe to be in Chinatown. She sounds like she's like a 6 rack deep. What time is it? It's like 10 in the morning. Yeah, 17-second video from President Trump. I love that that he did that. I think that every time we see a reference to that through him, he has to absolutely know what's going on, and he's not doing it for anybody but us, basically. Okay, so the other thing we wanted to talk about was Undercover Huber is doing great work. You should follow at John W. Huber on Twitter if you're not already, covering these new revelations from the IG report, these unredacted sections from the IG report. So, I mean, basically, it just shows that the FBI knew ahead of time. They lied about it. They knew that Steele was the source for Yahoo News. They knew everything. Okay, these unredacted portions lay out perfectly everything wrong that was happening in that investigation. They knew it. They covered it up, and they still went after President Trump. They tried everything to get rid of him, and they failed miserably. It's great.
Well, these are the pieces that Durham's already had, because if they're willing to declassify him and let us see them, those are pieces that he's already like put together and moved on to put other pieces together, right? Mm-hmm. So people like Undercover Huber, Technofog, all those greats that we Rosie's Memos.
Yes.
Those people that are definitely covering these things. It helps you understand, yes, it's things that we already knew, but you're getting the actual details. It's what happened on what dates, who said what, and then you could take those things and then go look at, let's say, when they were doing the hearings, and just see the exact opposite of them essentially perjuring themselves.
Yes.
So it is vital to have out there, and that's why I'm glad that people are breaking them down.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, we've got people on the left saying that these things that we've been saying for so long, for years now, were just theories, that it was some crackpot thing. But now we actually have it directly from the government, the complete unredacted disclosures showing exactly what the FBI was up to and to the things that they lied about. Granny Rose, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Then Lynn's over it says, anyone see Jack Dorsey's tweet about the pasta and satanic verses? These people are sick. Yes, Lynn, we covered it, and we covered it in the post. Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it. So what else do we have? We also had Matt Whitaker put out quite a doozy of a tweet saying that CNN needs to register under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, which was what they went after Paul Manafort for, I believe, and the Podesta brothers. But CNN published a press release from the Chinese military, if you can believe it. I mean, it's not much of a surprise to me, but they said, the report said that the Chinese carrier was carrying out this operation while 4 U.S. Navy aircraft carriers have reported cases of CV-19 crimping their operations. So basically, the Chinese military had put together this trash hit piece on the U.S. Military and their operations in probably the South China Sea, was it? And instead of doing their due diligence as reporters and, actually investigating it, they just printed it wholesale. So they printed propaganda created by the Chinese government and purported that it was news, and the American people were none the wiser, except for people like us who actually dig into these things and take a look at it. But imagine how many people on the left saw this report from CNN and just assumed that it was actual journalism.
Right, yeah, and I don't know if you saw it. I didn't bring it up when we were talking in pre-show. Did you see what Elon Musk said about CNN, replying to CNN?
Yeah, the only question I have is, why is CNN still on the air?
Right. So when you even have Elon Musk calling this stuff out, it's that bad. Yeah, the fact that they it's not surprising because of how far they are going to defend China, but the fact that they're just being a pipeline for that information is just disgusting.
Yeah, and I saw a really great video from a channel that I watch called Midnight's Edge. They generally cover like entertainment stuff and comic book stuff, but they cover it from a really neat angle. They were talking about the infiltration of the Chinese government into business here in America, specifically Hollywood, movie theater chains, studios, stuff like that. And they bought in not because they wanted, a piece of the action. It wasn't to make money. It was so that they could influence the American public through things like media and entertainment. So what better way for a foreign government, an enemy of the United States, to condition the people that they're trying to subjugate by going in, controlling their media, controlling the message coming out about that. And this is a perfect example of this thing in action right here. CNN putting out a press release from the Chinese authorities and pretending that it's news. The same way that they influence culture through media, through entertainment. It's an absolutely disgusting display, and it's the kind of thing that I really, really get upset about, because I want to be able to be entertained and not have to worry about whether or not I am being mind controlled, and worry about the fact that if what I'm watching is straight out of the CCP propaganda book. It's pretty distressing.
Yeah, Trump Jr., I think it was when they called it GNN, like XINN.
Yeah.
Which is great, which is absolutely perfect.
GNN. I love it. Let's see. EO2 Dave says the movement is still building. Cues are showing up everywhere worldwide. Where we go one, we go all. Danielle Battle says video on drop says Trump is handing power over to FEMA by signing disaster order. I read the Constitution. It did say this. It's in trending. If it's in trending on Twitter, then I would have to question the veracity of it. I know that stuff is written in there. I saw some stuff about it, but I'm saying that my connections in the federal government are telling me that President Trump has not signed over authority or his presidential privilege to FEMA. President Trump is still the president, and I believe that FEMA is acting under the authority of President Trump. I know that we do have all states in a state of disaster right now, but until I see the head of FEMA come out and say, I am now your leader, I'm not going to believe that President Trump is out of power. Elizabeth Cole says, love to amazing Polly, not amazing polling. Discouragement is real. Yes, whatever's going on with Polly, I hope that she gets through it. Jennifer4327 says, what does your show that totally beats Fox News? Kitty intervention. I love kitty complaint noises until you allow head rubs from your shoulder. Your love is impossible to hide. Yeah, I love the cat. I love the dogs, and I love that you guys are okay with them being here with us. Gino says, Trump presser tonight regarding opening up America. Hallelujah. I'm ready. I think that the rest of the country is ready. And I've seen some stuff coming out from different states saying that state legislatures were talking about, defying governor's orders to keep the states closed. Did you hear anything about that, Methods?
Well, all I caught on that in the 5 minutes I could stand listening to Fox News this morning, because they are carrying so much water for China. Mm-hmm. It's blowing my mind, especially during the day. It's just a mess. They said that Cuomo announced that they were going to do what they're doing now, this quarantine stuff, for 2 more weeks.
Wow.
Past what they said they're going to do. So yeah, I mean, that might play in your point of what you're talking about, but yeah, it's different everywhere. I mean, we have different situations going on. Down here in the South where I live is not that bad. They had only wanted to do quarantine stuff for just a few weeks. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I wonder, it would have been great to be a fly on the wall during the governor phone call.
Oh yeah,
with Trump yesterday. But yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see who plays ball.
Now, President Trump also yesterday was talking about putting in some recess appointments to Congress. He's talking about adjourning Congress over the phony pro forma sessions during this crisis that we're in. So obviously, Congress is not in session. They're not working. President Trump is talking about adjourning them and making recess appointments because of their phony and their dereliction of duty. Obviously, the American public deserves to have a functioning government. And if this is something President Trump can do, I'm all for it. Now, I wanted to
explain real quick on what happened. They are technically in session. What they're doing is doing like a faux in session thing every day, to where they are still technically open, mm-hmm. but none of them are there. Maybe like one person's there, and they're doing that because it keeps power away. One of the reasons is keeps power away, like what Trump brought up.
Yeah.
Because if they all go into full recess, and especially during this emergency stuff, he has the powers to fast track all the nominations he's been waiting on. Like, for example, Ratcliffe. Mm-hmm. Being the DNI, yep. Having him there for the D class stuff that we keep talking about is key. We need him overseeing that. So the fact that he could do that, he can adjourn the House and the Senate, shut them down, nominate fast track everybody and have everybody he needs.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I want to tie it into this report that we have, which is actually from Newsweek, that there is a secret military task force preparing to secure the U.S. Capitol because they are expecting, apparently, an outbreak in Washington, D.C., similar to what's taking place in New York or what has taken place in New York. But what really got me was that there is a military task force in Washington, D.C. preparing to lock the city down. Obviously, there's a lot of things that could happen if that were to take place, and I think it would kind of set the stage for some necessary actions that would need to be taken if we are going to take back this country.
Well, to that point, one, it is Newsweek, so once again, look for more sauce on it. I read it. I find it interesting. It would make sense because as our country is technically weakened with this pandemic and all that stuff, it does make us even more vulnerable for attack.
Mm-hmm.
So having a secret task force going on, and I know you remember all the helicopter stuff going on around DC. Remember us covering that like a year ago or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
They were doing training. So it would make sense to have it there, but the fact that it's being brought up now is what's very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Timing. Need to say thank you to JT Suited. And Looney Tunes says, at Q wants you to say his name once. Done, brother. There you go. I did it. JS says, hi, guys. I did some research and found that theoguanine was a successful treatment for MERS and SARS-CoV. I took it for Crohn's, and it might be a substitute for those without access to hydroxychloroquine. Okay, great tip. Thank you. Let's say BLS only has joined as a member. Carl Thunderstorm says, I'm in North Carolina. Thank you for all your hard work you and your partners do. Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Baby Yoda is back. He says, I'm back. Snowed in for a few days in a gulch somewhere in Colorado, off-grid for a week. No radio, no internet, no books, no input from other wildlife. Needed to get away. Wood stove in a tent. Best to all. Baby Yoda, I hope that you got the rest and relaxation that you needed. Sometimes you do have to get off the grid and just go be by yourself. So I'm glad you're here, buddy. Chris Huggins says, my super chats aren't showing up. Chris, yeah, this is the only one that I've seen, so I don't know if you have sent them. I know that right now, obviously, slow mode is on, so you can only do it once every 180 seconds. But Lynn Mountjoy says, New York State Governor Cuomo announced that he's keeping the state closed until May 15th. I'm losing my mind already after 3 weeks. A lot of people are losing their minds. That's why we're here, you guys, so that you do have a bit of an outlet. We don't want you to lose your minds. This is a tough time for everybody, but remember, we're all here for each other. Silver Fox has joined as a member. Thank you, Silver Fox. And JT Suited says, I want to point out that waking people up is not like flapping on a light switch. It's more like planting seeds. Waking up takes time. Keep planting the seeds and let them sprout in their own time. Excellent point. Nobody is going to be forced to awaken or just, come to the realization that everything that they've been told is a lie. They have to do it in their own time. Great point. Jennifer4327 says, with the GPS capabilities we have, why can't we unlock America by location? We know the locations of hospitals without needing GPS locations of individual citizens. Unreasonable. I don't know. I don't know if there is maybe a constitutional issue with the government tracking everyone by phone. I would imagine they're already doing it on a covert basis, but who knows? Who knows? There's probably a lot of different ways they can do that.
Well, real quick, our favorite Anon just posted again. It's a YouTube link to a song that sounds peaceful. The song is called Above and Beyond, or by Above and Beyond, and the song's called Great Falls. And our favorite Anon says, clear your mind, heal. And then, that's all he says.
All right.
So it's just a quick one, a focus thing. It's kind of to the point, about why we, not trying to tie it directly to the show, but the idea of being there, hanging out with people, giving people a break, the whole concept of that. Take care of yourself, take care of your mind. If things get too stressful and all those things, take a break, recharge. We've got friends of the show that send us, pictures of them fishing and stuff and hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just taking moments and doing those things. I know it's difficult with everything going on.
Yeah. And
also to the point real quick, I know that we're getting to the end of the show, but it was brought up, the super chat. Well, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was about, but regardless, the planting the seed thing. Mm-hmm. We understand, and we want everybody to understand, everybody listening to these shows, following us on whatever platforms, we're having to cover things that are reaching people at all aspects of the red pill and growth. We agree with you that the seed gets planted, and over time you develop and you grow and all those things like that. So sometimes we'll cover things or say certain things that you're like, okay, we've heard this before. Somebody said earlier, no more Obama clips, please. I agree with you. I hate hearing it. But with that said, like, all the people that still believe in him and still call him president on Twitter, which blows my mind, need to have these videos available to where they can see when the red pill starts to kick in for them, hopefully in the future.
Yeah.
So that's why we cover some of these things. If it sounds like old news and stuff, we're trying to make sure that we're taking care of everybody across the whole spectrum of growth.
Yeah, never take it for granted that everything that you know is what everybody else knows. There are so many people in this movement who are all at their very own unique position in their awakening, and it is very important that we try to cover as much stuff as we can and remind people about certain things, because I bet you, even if there's something that you might hear that you think is old news, there are probably a couple hundred people in the chat who never heard it, or even more that forgot that it even existed. Need to say thank you to BLS Only. Thank you so much for all you do. It helps greatly. Richard Kruska says, my mother is a respiratory therapist at a hospital located in Orange County. She noticed a shipment of HCQ that just came in. Awesome. Chris Huggins says, my message was about the new Mouthy Buddha video on YouTube. It needs more exposure, especially for parents. Yes, like I said, I watched it. I'm going to go ahead and share it. Alan061, my nephew in Dallas was an eye surgeon who was told almost 6 weeks ago to get scripts for the hydroxychloroquine. I hope everyone boycotts this junk on YouTube. One world together at home. These celebrities are so out of touch with the rest of us. Headlines by many peds and friends of Jeffrey. Thank you, RP and Methods. I haven't seen it yet. Cue the Music says, Minnesota protest Friday, 12 to 3 at the governor's mansion on Summit. And then Dr. Larry J says, keep it up. Tracy S says, I am a self-employed housekeeper. Haven't had a vacation since 2011. The staycation is awesome. John Asturia says, if any of you like the video games and hunting, try out The Hunter, Call of the Wild. You won't be disappointed. That is a fun game. Richie Rich says, keep up the good work. We love you both. And Silver Fox says, I have prescribed drugs to relax my mind. There you go. All right, guys. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I appreciate it. Had a great time. I saw somebody say the show needs to be 2 hours. Well, I need enough time to make the video, which has to come out at 6 p.m., but that's why we do this 5 days a week, and then we have Comfy Sunday on Sundays. So hope everyone has a lovely day. Thank you for joining us. I'll be back at 6 for my daily report. We're going to be talking about some important things happening, the recovery of America, so don't miss it. Good luck, and God bless.
Much love, everybody.